The conflict between Russia and Ukraine that started escalating from the annexation of Crimea by Russia in 2014 blew up into a raging fire in 2022 with the Russian invasion. As the special military operation dragged on for months and transformed into a full-fledged war, clear fault lines emerged in the world. The war split the world into separate blocs. Those who support Ukraine, then those who support Russia, and then those who choose to walk the fine line of balance or a non-committal approach. Hello and welcome to India Today Digital. I am Anjali Istwal. As the war completes 12 months, we show you 12 shades of war. Ukraine is supported by the United States, the European Union, and other Western countries. The support is in all possible forms: military, monetary, and diplomatic. NATO, or the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, is providing political and practical support to Ukraine in its conflict with Russia, but it is not directly involved in the military operations. But NATO's support means support of 30 nations. NATO has been cautious of ensuring that its support is not categorized as aggression towards Russia. In terms of political support, NATO has repeatedly condemned Russia's actions in Ukraine and called on Moscow to respect Ukraine's territorial integrity and sovereignty. It has also provided help in defense capacity building through training and assistance to Ukraine's military and security forces to help them modernize and become more effective. Since the war started, NATO's member countries have supplied anti-aircraft systems, unmanned aerial systems, small arms and ammunition, and even tanks, along with active training. NATO is sharing intelligence with Ukraine to help it understand the situation better on the ground and improve its situational awareness. NATO has also provided humanitarian assistance to civilians affected by the conflict, including through the provision of medical supplies, food, and other essential items. Although US is part of NATO, but its assistance to Ukraine has been one of the biggest. The US has provided Ukraine with billions of dollars in security assistance since the beginning of the war. US has approved 3 packages of total $68 billion in aid. In fact, the United States provides the bulk of total aid to Ukraine, which is 62% according to published figures. To coordinate aid to Ukraine, the United States has also convened the Ukrainian Defense Contact Group, consisting of over 50 countries. It is an alliance supporting the defense of Ukraine, and other than the NATO countries, it includes countries like Austria, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Ireland, Colombia, and Kosovo, thus expanding the network of countries willing to provide aid to Ukraine. Now let's talk about the countries that support Russia. In an emergency UN Security Council session right after the Russia assault, 141 countries, including all NATO members, voted to reprimand Russia for its attack on its neighbor. But 4 voted in favor of backing Russian President Vladimir Putin. They were Belarus, Eritrea, North Korea, and Syria. Belarus is Russia's most vocal ally and has allowed Russian troops to advance towards Ukraine from its own border. Syria, the country, has been a staunch ally of Moscow since Russia launched a military campaign in Syria in 2015 that helped President Bashar al-Assad gain the upper hand in the ongoing civil war. North Korea has defended Russia and blamed the hegemonic policy of the US and the West as the root cause of the Ukraine conflict. Russia and China appear to be increasingly supportive of Kim Jong-un's regime, and thus there is this quid pro quo. In January, the 2 countries blocked the UN Security Council from imposing further sanctions against North Korea for its recent missile tests. Eritrea. After voting against the UN resolution condemning Russian aggression, the impoverished African nation was the only country other than Russia to vote against a UN human rights investigation in Ukraine. The third block of nations in this division of world is of those nations that have refused to support either side. India, China, and Pakistan were among dozens of countries that abstained from the emergency vote in UN Security Council and have since resisted calls to condemn Putin. China has refused to call Russia's actions as invasion and has repeatedly expressed its opposition to what it describes as illegal sanctions against Moscow. India has continued its trade with Russia, and it seems even America is now comfortable with India's balancing act. Do tell us what you think about this video in the comment section, and for more news updates, subscribe to India Today.